So my first experience in the studio was my sophomore year. I believe it was a spring challenge where we competed in my group and we actually got first place, and I was invited in to do a host. And it was just so amazing to be part of a bigger production. It just made me feel like, wow, I'm doing something right.
Thank you for joining us on this special 2019 Spring Challenge edition of HIKI NŌ.
It was very hard to produce a story in a short amount of time, but it really gave us a peek into what the real industry is like. I think that's where I ultimately fell in love with the art, just seeing the behind the scenes and what it takes as a team or an individual just to produce something bigger than yourselves and to tell a story that's far beyond what people hear, and just sharing those experiences of others.
And she's definitely really silly. She really likes to draw too.
She's very goofy, she loves to laugh, she's just kind of a dork, so.
As simple as some tasks are for others, it requires a little bit more effort for Rogue.
So a part of journalism, broadcast journalism, is having a real organic story, the true story, because in the end, we're telling people's stories. Not my story, not your story, but people's stories. It's their story we need to focus on. And I believe, especially in a competition, a lot of people forget about that and always focus on, we need to win. No, we just need to tell their story. And I think that's what that person needs. And I think that broadcast journalism centers us on ultimately sharing people's stories and reminding us to make everything organic and real.
So I didn't truly understand until about middle school, when I just accepted that there's nothing I could do to change it. I'm me because I'm me. That's how I was born, so why not?
Well, watching One Step at a Time now, it just takes me back to the importance of storytelling and telling people's story. As a broadcast journalist, we're always looking for ways to improve. My teacher always ingrains in us, Mr. Zavala says, go from good to great. So we received first place for One Step at a Time, and I think it was just amazing because, with first place or placing at all comes with a lot of publicity, and I thought that was something we needed for Rogue's story. It was so different.
Just the idea of getting up and doing things that other people can do, that is my accomplishment for me.
I think it's important that HIKI NŌ gives the students the opportunity to produce self-reflections, because it allows us to actually take the time to step back and to tell our own story. Because I think broadcasts, we're always telling other people's story, and we don't really tell our own story and just focus and reflect on our experiences. So I think that HIKI NŌ allowed us to do that. It just helps us put something out there that shows the best us, and gives us a chance to tell our story that many people can relate to, especially nowadays with the distance learning, the pandemic. I believe that it was just needed at such a vital time in our society, so that we can all see the stories, the self-reflections, and be like, wow, I went through that too.
Dear distance learning, I hate you.
I think this project really highlighted that balance I needed to find. It had the specifics of my own personal things, like marching band, I talked about being canceled, enjoying my grandma's Filipino cooking. And I think I talked about it specifically for my own personal story, but in the end, on a greater scale, people can relate to it. So I found a good balance of sharing my own experiences, but still relating on a scale to ultimately every student in some way.
I know that every moment should be cherished. So thank you, distance learning. Thank you.
I really wanted to attend college in person, which I didn't get in high school. My senior year wasn't in person. So my plans for fall 2021 is attending University of Portland in Oregon, studying marketing, having to be held up to a standard, and just to be very professional that's something HIKI NŌ taught me that I'll always have going into college.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button and the little bell icon to get notified immediately of new and exclusive HIKI NŌ content.